I pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. It's here, all right.
I'm getting ready to do roll call, but I don't have to.
Yes.
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 Okay, public participation, is there anybody online?
She didn't see.
He resigned,
He did?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
So, we can read the public participation unless, Kevin starts carrying on and on and on,
Email
we'll
it.
just cut him off, okay?
He might resign. Maybe. No.
All right, adoption of agenda.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda from February 9th.
No.
March
Yeah.
9th.
The agenda is today.
Agenda.
Oh.
We have to, as presented.
As
As
presented.
presented.
I'll support.
Where's my?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Why didn't you do?
Approval of minutes, February 9th. 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll support.
Michelle will second. Me.
Yep.
Lynn will second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, all right. Public comment, is there anybody? No, nobody online, all right, so no public comment right now. Correspondence, no? Lynn, nothing? Okay, new business. 26, 27. Capital Improvement Plan, recommendations to Board of Trustees. Do we have to, bring this up in any way? I don't think we've ever done this before.
I think we would just make a motion to approve it to present to the Board of Trustees.
Is it final and ready to present?
Go ahead.
So as you guys know, we've never done this before. We put together a spreadsheet. We had our CIP committee meeting twice, put together a spreadsheet, which is in front of you, and filled it in the best we could. It is still missing some numbers for the public safety, but I don't know.
Good first attempt.
I think so. It's, at least we have something, which has not been a thing before. So we're glad for that. But go ahead and look through it. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Chad and Tom and myself and Michelle are on the CIP committee. So everybody's here.
Lots of, things might not get done, but
Yeah, so actually it started with 25 and 26 and we just shifted that over to 27 and pushed it up through 31. We'll add some columns. I know something that we talked about is doing a 5 and a 10 year or a 10 year and a 20 year and extending out some of the projects. But again, for our first attempt, I think
This isn't the one that was attached to the email, is it?
That's what this is.
Cause that one still said 7 million for year 2.
I'm not sure, but we did have some issues with it not adding the totals correctly.
So
So-
when I got email, it says year 1, 30,000, year 2, 7 million. Okay, I was wondering how we were doing 7 million on year 2.
so is this 26, 27 then? This one? What says 27?
It's probably going to be more like 27, 28. We don't have anything budgeted in for this coming fiscal year to be able to do any major projects.
For 26, 27.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
There was some discussion at the board table, at the special budget workshop that we had about at least trying to get those bathrooms done. But it's not looking like it's going to happen.
Look like there's money for that, even.
No,
Wow.
but if money,
Grant comes
right,
through.
if money comes about, then I think that'll probably be our first project.
that, Goyette Plumbing, I was at the CTE thing at the high school and he was there and he said he's interested in looking at any plumbing jobs we have. And I said, do you know Abby? He said, yes.
Oh, okay.
So I said, well, talk to her.
Perfect. Great.
So is this saying year 2028 through 2031, there's no road projects?
I don't have a specified list of road projects at this time. So are you talking about what line are you looking at?
I'm looking in the general where you have the other roads from 28 to 31, there's nothing allocated.
Yeah, so so what'll go into 26, 27 in that first spot, after the board looks at the matching funds from the road commission at our March board meeting, then that money will go in there, but it's not capital improvement. It's just, actually, that money won't go in there because it's not capital improvement. It's just the matching
Maintenance.
funds. Yeah, maintenance on the roads that we currently have in the dust control. So no, there's no money budgeted for any kind of major projects. I got a list from Ryan Brady from the road commission and it basically said you need $8 million to work on projects. But it was just a very overview type list. And he's going to work on doing a spreadsheet for me so that we can start narrowing down projects. But at this point, I think any road project that we're looking at is going to be $1 million. So I know golf course needs to be done. I can never think of the name of it, but the one on Long Lake that was paved, Maple Grove, yep. That one is a total reconstruct. Princeton, that whole neighborhood that's on here as the Princeton project. He gave me $1 million estimate, but that's gonna be well over $1 million, I'm sure, because that's ditching and everything, total reconstruct.
Is the water and sewer fairly accurate, you think?
No,
So this is what we're gonna turn into the trustees. what
Well,
we
it's
don't
better than
know.
nothing. It's
Yeah.
better than not having anything. I mean, it brings us
think-
at least compliant to.
I think the most,
I think every
Should
year
we
we'll
try to be
tweak it and
ac-
get it better. Cause what are we planning on meeting next? Is it September?
yeah, because
To
we want,
start it? So it's going to be better for the
Right.
budgeting.
So what is the budget that we have to work with for the year to allocate to this stuff?
This year, we don't have any. There's no money,
So is
What
that
we
why
have
we
next
don't
year?
need
No.
2027?
2026.
yeah, that's why the 27 on here, it'll be like it'll be a 27, 28 fiscal year.
Oh, April
Yep.
27.
Yep.
Can we actually
So-
add that to the titles?
Yeah, instead of it being just by the year. Yeah, we can do that.
That
Sure.
way we know the
Uh-huh.
fiscal year that we're looking at.
Yep.
So I have a question. If we don't have anything this year, what's gonna give us a 1.3 million for next year? To spend?
Good
Grant funding, yeah. Grant funding, maybe a change in revenues, sources.
So this is just a suggestion. to-
Yeah, this is just, yep,
It's suggestion,
yeah.
not written.
So it's not
So
accurate.
the way I remember capital improvement from my DDA days in the city was if, let's say, the $1 million road project, and we set that on there for a couple of years. If the board allocates 100,000 in the budget and it doesn't get spent anywhere, that becomes in the fund equity, 100,000 towards that project. Is that the way I understand it?
That's how.
Is that the way it's supposed to be?
I believe so.
That
Yeah.
was the line item
Right.
probably is.
Right,
whatever
so-
roads or whatever.
So of the fund equity, it's gonna be sitting there, 100,000 would be earmarked. So that's
It's a
how we
budget.
become,
Yes.
that's how we become funding it. We're never gonna have an extra $1 million.
Right. So
Right.
it shouldn't say
Like,
million.
For example, if you look down to public safety,
But also you can, in the comments, it can be funded by shared funding, it can be shared, grants, it can be, different revenues of how
So that'll
to get
be,
it funded.
that'll be commented then.
right? So if you look in the general fund under 27, those, except for the Princeton project, which again was something that I was hoping to get congressional money for. But the boardroom, the ADA compliant bathrooms, the HVAC, those dollars are all money that we've already applied for a grant for. It's that not FEMA, the ice storm grant through Michigan that's sitting in the Senate or the House or somewhere. But we already asked for that money, which is where those estimates came from.
So here that will say grant,
Yeah,
Right.
proposed grant,
So
yep.
are we,
that makes.
if somebody looks at this and they see all this, and, you know, are we gonna, somehow, put an asterisk here and say if money becomes available or something?
Yeah, we can do
Well,
that.
that's the
I
H.
mean, just so
So
everybody knows
it's
that.
Line 5 or line H, so go across to H where it says fund sourcing. That's where those should be noted there is grant, you know, I mean, that's general fund grant, you know, if we know we're applying for a DNR grant or
Okay.
Right.
that's where that stuff gets noted. This doesn't hold anybody accountable to anything. These are just
Mhm.
projects that we are seeing on the horizon that
That
need
we'd
to be
like,
done.
yeah.
Well, that we need to be done, that need to be done at some point.
Oh, yeah, Princeton is like,
Washburn.
yeah.
And
like a-
the reason I say it's
You're there.
not. Yeah, the reason I say it's not up to date for water and sewer is because we never know with that. As long as we're in litigation, we're never gonna know where we're at with that. This year, the board did decide to push off the South Water Tower painting and upgrades project, $186,000. Initially, F&V had that in this coming fiscal year, so the 26-27 year. But because we have 3 days of trial scheduled for June, we've moved that to next fiscal year, which still falls in line with the every 10 with the, right, each, yeah. It'll just put us, if we do this project next year, it'll just put us 2 years away from having to do the following project.
So we're still in litigation.
Yes. We settled one, case in December of last year. And then if you remember 2 years ago, and I don't know if it was June or July, the city filed another lawsuit. So we are now trying to settle that lawsuit. Or that portion of it, I guess. So we're scheduled, we have a status conference in April and we're scheduled for 3 days of trial in June.
Has the working budget that they're getting ready to, does that have some equipment replacement for the fire department in there?
Not replacement. No, no.
Like the air packs and all of that stuff's not.
And there was an article in the paper about possibly an assessment that we're,
Yeah, we're looking at all options right now.
yeah.
We've got 3 options and have to pick one of them.
Okay.
But what I was saying is if you look down at public safety, you can see where it says replace SCBA's. Michelle and I were looking at those numbers today saying, well, we know there's no money this year, but if there's 4 units at $7,000 a unit, we can break it apart.
Right.
It was 28,000 for 5 years, but you know, then we shortened it by a year, so we're at $35,000. So that would be like what you're saying is $35,000 out of every budget needs to get put away so that in 4 years or as they start going out, we can start replacing them. So we're not trying to replace 20 of them at one time. Right.
So other than doing a slash with the fiscal year on the columns, I make a motion that we accept this to present to the board.
I'll also adjust the funding sources to put in there that those, some of those monies are from grants that we've already applied for.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think this makes us compliant with what we're supposed to have been doing for a long time. To start.
I'll support that.
So, yeah, no, I'm here. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So you said, you made a motion, to submit the, 2026-2027 capital improvement plan for trustees. And so
Correct.
Michelle.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
With the changes of.
With a couple of minor
With the change.
changes.
With a change to where it says the year, we'll change it to the fiscal year. So instead of it saying 27, it will say 27/28, 28/29.
And you put it fun.
And then in the funding sources, I'll fill in what I already know we've asked for grants.
Minor clerical changes, yeah. It's nothing major,
Clerical, minor, fair.
Sure.
something like that.
Okay.
Sounds official, clerical.
Chad,
Yes.
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 motion passed.
And we were, at the last meeting, we were gonna, like, you didn't hear it, but start September. Working on it,
Right.
so we're not working on the,
Capital improvement.
That we will have it done by December.
well, a special committee, whatever.
Okay.
If you wanna be on that special committee, Andy, or,
Right, it's an annual
Yeah.
thing in September that the committee should look at it.
hard to, I mean, we make recommendations, they have to, but we don't know how much money we have.
That's what I mean. How can we even,
Well, yeah, I mean,
how can you even submit a budget when we don't know what we
So-
have to spend?
Right, and that's kind of why we talked about,
This isn't a budget. This is just a plan,
Right.
Right.
This is to
Right.
help with the
a
budget.
budget.
and that's why we talked about having the meetings in September, so that everything can be prepared for November to start doing budgeting. So that we can work together, with our budgeting numbers that we know, and then whatever the planning commission comes up with.
So for 2026, we just don't have anything.
We don't have any money budgeted for any kind of improvements.
Right.
Like I said,
And there's no extra.
there is extra, there is potential that we could still do that bathroom project. It really is just gonna depend on, there is money in the general funds, well, however you are calling it, fund equity account, the savings account. But we're just being cautious with that money, knowing that we have emergency funding in case something needs to be replaced. Any other questions that I can answer?
But do we have, and I should probably come to the board meeting and ask a question, do we have a minimum we have in our fund equity?
We do not have a stated minimum that we have to keep in there.
No, but it's recommended to have 2 months of,
And we are over that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
2 months is like 10%, 15%.
Math. I don't know.
I'd have to figure it out.
1 month would be 1/12.
Sure.
Sixth minutes, not very much.
All right, yeah, cause I just wondered, and when I was on the Board of Education,
Last audit, we had enough to cover
We
like
had 10.
200 and some days.
we had 10,
So we were way over the 2 months.
Like our, we have to have 10%.
Yeah. and then we were trying to increase it 1% per year just till we got to 15, but I don't know if we ever did it. Okay, that was just a question, yeah, I mean,
I think if you look at the numbers, I think, what did we say, 1.5 million?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have an entire year's budget in there. Our budget this year was just over $1 million in revenue sharing and close to $500,000 in tax income. So,
We are dipping into it this
Yeah.
year.
yes,
We're going to make sure we get through it.
okay.
But you gotta have some.
Yeah.
You gotta have some.
Yeah.
You can't-
Right.
You don't wanna go to the bank and borrow it to make
No.
payroll.
No, right.
No.
So, but this will help the board ultimately at the end of the day.
yeah. And ultimately, we have to have a CIP, so we have to do something, which we haven't had this before, and we at least have something to work with now that is going to be presented to the board, right? So, progress, not
Place-
perfection.
Place set for these projects and if some money tree, starts producing money this year and $1 million becomes available, I think,
That's what we can hope for, right?
yeah.
But at least we know we have projects and,
We need the budget process to start putting items in the budget for this. So there is earmarked monies. That becomes the key. Because we can do all of this, but if we don't budget any of it, we don't have
Well,
the
then we
money.
just keep moving it.
Right, exactly. Makes September meeting easy, just change
But
the.
it's election year, so you never know.
if anybody knows of a money tree, just send it our way.
Yeah.
We'll be glad to give it a
You
shake.
never know. It's election. Okay. I guess we're gonna, we voted, yes.
Yes.
All right. Master plan update.
So you guys have a really big packet in front of you and I apologize because I didn't have everything until noon today to try and put the joint goals. This is the one that has the red text. This is the master plan committee that's been working in the county. Because you guys are in a joint master plan. Did you remember that? Nope, you don't remember that at all. That's okay. So you guys are one.
We
But-
had a recreation plan. We did a,
Yep. And now, so a year ago I was here and we picked out some survey questions and then I met with other
yeah,
townships. Okay. So you guys, that surveys went out, it came back, it had 1,268 responses. You guys had 495, I believe it was. And those results are in this packet. Also, there's no real numbers on it because I didn't have time to do that today. Anyway, last month, when did you guys meet at Green Township? I didn't go because I got sent to another community. Let's put it that way. Oh, okay, well.
The
on this-
19th it says. That's the 19th, so a couple weeks, 3 weeks ago.
Yep,
okay.
sure does. Okay, so these are the joint goals. These goals were determined by putting all of the townships together and seeing what goals you currently had in common. And then at that meeting, they added the stuff in red. Okay? So what we have to decide tonight is what out of your old goals, which is this nicely stapled package that I probably didn't do front and back, that you want to add to those so that you have your own township goals. Now, to piggyback a little bit that you didn't cover with the CIP, and I don't know, like, I think you and I have talked, but I don't think I've really explained it to anyone else besides you, maybe Whittemore. So your CIP really should also be reflected in your master plan goals. And your CIP is something really good to fall back on if a rec project comes up. And then you can have a certain line item like those bathrooms. I don't know where your bathrooms are. I'm assuming they're at a park or out there. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that works too. I don't know. Emergency funding hopefully comes out. I got screwed in my county, so I don't know. But yeah. So you want to have your CIP, your master plan goals, and your budget all kind of just are this trail. Master plan is real high goals. They're very general, not specific. Your CIP is more specific, and then your budget has your line items. I just wanted to circle that so you guys kind of understand the whole process. I don't know if when your subcommittee you did, but just so that's why there's not a lot of dollar amounts, because as those projects come up and you get estimates, then you can drop in the dollars. I didn't want to overspeak, but I knew I was coming up here to talk about goals. So I wanted to make sure that in our goals, we do have something about, I don't think there's anything in there about your fire, public safety stuff in your current goals. And considering you have quite a few line items on that, that should be in there. Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, so those are the two we want to go through. Normally Heather would have gone through here and crossed off what is already in the county goals so that you would just say, hey, yes, keep this one that I didn't cross off, but I didn't get to do that. So we get to go through them together. Don't mutiny me. Okay. And Chad, you've read the county goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I see you've already made a circle. Are you comparing?
Yeah.
Oh, how far did you get?
1 through 4 are already there.
Already there?
I think they're, I think. 1 through
Quality
5
of life is pretty much covered.
all fall for that first section,
Okay.
the so I'm doing, yeah.
Yep. No.
Sorry. One
my
thing that I did want to mention that we talked about at the joint master plan meeting, unfortunately, I think I really rained on Denise's parade. But something else that is coming up for reevaluation this year in November is the hazard mitigation plan. So we will probably add some stuff to the CIP about that. One of the projects that I was looking at is the potential of getting a bridge of some sort across the Thunder Bay River, in the Lake Winya area. And if we get that in our master plan and on our CIP, then there is potentially some money that we can get, which Nico from NEMCOG and I have talked about. But it's not currently in the hazard mitigation plan. But if we can get it in there, then we can talk about it in November and get it into that plan. And if funding should become available for that, then we already have what we need in place, to apply for funding. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys.
Bridge across the Thunder Bay River.
Yeah, yep. So it falls into the hazard mitigation plan because right now, if something happened at the Bagley Street Bridge, there's no other way to get from Long Rapids other than going all the way up to Heron Road. So there was some conversation about finding the narrowest portion of the river and seeing if it would be possible and what it would cost to get a bridge there. And I have talked to Nick, the emergency manager, about this. He said he was going to review the flood plan and see, obviously, if one of the dams went, that's all going to be underwater. So that then the question was, is it still possible? How high would it need to be? What would it need to look like? What kind of a bridge would it have to be? But there's potential for that. So I just wanted to put it out there and know that as far as countywide, that would benefit the entire county. It wouldn't just be a township. It would benefit, the city. It would benefit Maple Ridge, Long Rapids, Alpena Township, Green, Wilson. The only really one that it wouldn't really affect so much is Sanborn.
It's pretty wide, isn't it?
There's a portion of it close to the dam that's not that wide. It would be right at the end of Lake Winya Road, right
That's
before
just
it
an
the turn.
example of exactly what you were just saying is the master plan is here.
Yeah.
See, and then that's just another, has this been a project that you've been anticipating? on a
Right,
grant?
because if we have it in the plan, then when we try to apply for grants and get funding for it, they'll say, do you have this in your plan? And we'll say, yes, we've talked about this. We know that there's a potential need for this. It's in our plan. We would like to explore these possibilities. So those are the kind of things that really need to be thought about for the joint master plan, not necessarily for that, but for the CIP and for the hazard mitigation plan.
Yeah.
So
Kind of like
again,
your old MDOT days of shovel ready.
I know
projects.
your eyes lit right up and I was like,
Shovel,
"Well."
you have to have shovel ready projects.
Still a pretty substantial bridge.
But it's, I mean,
Mine
that's
are
just
in a
part of
tote
it. It's
from
just
last year.
shovel
Never had to
ready
wear 'em.
project. You have to, talk about it.
Don't either.
I guess it's the first I've heard of that.
I'm sorry, Heather. I just learned about it myself, 2 months ago, maybe. I think I don't remember why I came across it, but then I emailed Nico from NEMCOG and I said, how do we get money? I have this idea. And he said, that's a crazy idea. You should reach out to the emergency manager and see about getting it into your hazard mitigation plan. And I was like, how do I do that? And he said, well, this, and this. And by the way, your plan is up in November. So
Guess who's gonna write?
you, yeah, you lucky dog. So anyways, like I said, these are just some things that I'm coming across and learning as I'm going and finding opportunities. And if there is money out there and somebody from the federal government says, hey, look, emergency, we could help you with this. I just want to be ready to be able to accept their money.
It's fine.
So cool. That was like 100%, like you said, Chad, a very good example of what I was just saying. Yeah, which is okay. Which is totally okay. So Heather always has a really hard time. Heather talks in the third person when she's tired and exhausted. Taking your time because I didn't come in here and just present you choices. And it bothers me. So that's why I'm kind of like stumbling through stuff tonight. But you know what? We have to take some time and do it. We're just going to do it together.
Mhm.
So you got through quality of life. All of them are covered in the county goals.
I believe so.
Okay. Planning and zoning, community development. How far did you get while Abby was?
I was too busy listening.
Okay, cool. You did. Implement township master plan by updating township ordinance. I think that's pretty much like, covered. So most of these planning and zoning ones, they're pretty much the same type of thing, just said differently.
Of the
Yeah.
objections, I think.
Yep. And they're really just protecting the zoning.
Right.
One thing I'll add about that. I just want to share the microphone.
No.
Anymore.
I'm
That's it.
sorry. One thing I want to add about that is that that's a conversation that Denise and I have had as well about updating our buffers.
Yep.
And that comes from the joint master plan, the coastal chapter that we had NEMCOG and Huron Pines help us write. And so we did apply for another grant from Eagle for that. And that would be part of what we could do with that funding is update the zoning to reflect the buffers and stuff. And like the building X number of feet away from the setbacks. So I'm done now.
You're probably not, but that's okay. It's a good thing I kind of like you.
We can get you a microphone and you could.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's okay.
It's only because you like me. So I'm just gonna take those planning and zoning community ones and I'll match them up just because Denise has probably reworded them 6 different times and they mean exactly the same thing.
Right.
She drives me nuts when she does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so residential development, one thing I want to put here, and I don't know how much you guys know about what's going on at the state legislature. There are actually, I think there's 6 bills altogether. And because you have municipal water, do you have sewer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yippee. The state has these 6 bills that will make a minimum square footage, meaning the most your square footage of a lot can be is 1,500 square feet because you offer water and sewer. On that lot, the maximum minimum square foot of a house is 500 square feet. You are,
Say that again.
oh, it'll affect everything in zoning. Yeah, I'll say it again. The largest lot you can say, or the smallest lot you can say, okay, the smallest it can be is 1,500 square feet. It can't be any larger if these laws pass because you offer municipal water and sewer.
Just in those areas of water.
Yes, just in the, well,
Because we're really unique. We've got,
so
the majority is not.
1,500 though, not 15,000, 1,500 square feet. And see, it doesn't have to even do that now. If this bill goes through, you don't have to have a minimum of the frontage either. No. Well, that's basically your lots will end up buildable because of this 1,500 square feet. You also have to allow ADUs on them, accessory dwelling units, and all duplexes would be permitted by right, regardless of the district. There was more to it than that, but you guys are more accustomed to some smaller lots where was I last week that had water in Harrisville? They don't have small lots. So they're like, what are you talking about? I said, you have water and sewer. Yes, then you qualify. The proposal right now states the entire municipality, not just the areas that are serviced. MAP, Michigan Association of Planning, is in support of these bills if they change them to state only where the municipal water and sewer are, and only for metropolitan statistical areas, which would come down to 10 areas in the state versus all your charter townships or villages that have water and sewer, because you're not set up for it. The public infrastructure beyond just water and sewer isn't there because there's also no required parking on those lots. So how are you going to get people to and from work? You know, they'll be walking or busing. And if you don't have that type of municipal services, then it does not make sense. Yes. But I wanted to say that as we go into the residential areas, because there's changes that could be coming from the state that we can't do anything about, and yeah, we're recorded, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so then we look at the residential goals and compare what they have, what you have. The blue, I just kind of reworded your overall goal because I didn't like how it was worded. And I hate the word small town character. You're not rural, you're not small town. It's just character. Get over it. Just a, yeah, because Heather has a major issue with those. It just, why can't we just say character? Like, I really like your number one where you're talking about ADA compliant and extended care facilities. Because that's not really something you guys talk about in the joint goals at all. Were there any 1 through 11 that you guys, yes, keep this one? No, it looks like we are good over here. Like, you tell me, they're your goals.
I don't see anything necessarily that's sticking out that's not included.
Already covered.
Hard to read quick and. compare.
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, I know, but that,
It's for the moment.
yeah, I know. And again, I apologize. We're trying to hit all 10 municipalities in Alpena and not stretch it out over 4 months. And it's like,
I mean, maybe the number 7 is to make, the removal of, maybe that one could be made sure it's kept in there. We've talked about the buffers, we've talked about, require a layout of new residential development.
that's kind of an odd goal in
That
general.
one, yeah, that one's really just kind of an odd one to me, but
Because it's kind of like a site plan should do that. Unless we're talking about,
We're talking about
10,
or something.
yeah.
I mean, the buffers and transition areas we talked about the quality of life and stuff like that, so that's all kind of redundant in my.
Unless 10 is talking about like PUDs or new neighborhoods in general as residential developments and not just one single home. That's an odd item.
Well, it makes sense because it says logical extension.
Oh, yeah, that would be if you're building a new subdivision.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that might be what that's about.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't too well under pressure.
You go to commercial. Do they even have commercial? Ooh. Cluster development is when you put like all the houses It's gonna be really, I wish I could draw it, but I can't.
The whiteboard.
It's like if you, if there was a development that came in and say they had 100 acres, you would say, that's great, you've got 100 acres, but we're gonna limit your building on those 100 acres to these 27 acres, and the rest of it has to maintain its natural formation, or it has to be made into like a park or whatever. It's just to allow a developer to come in and purchase a big property, but maintain the open space. But still, it would be like having a subdivision, but only a part of that subdivision could actually be built. The rest of it had to be the open space and maintain the natural features.
So keep them houses fostered together.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, no, you're fine.
all right.
You're fine.
I learned about this in my planning and zoning
Well, Denise has the other half of a brain today, so there you go.
So that might be
And
something
Nico
that's
has the
very,
other half.
number
yeah.
11 might be something very specific to Alpena Township
Mhm.
rather than the other townships, just because.
Yes,
So,
I think so. And I think, when we get into commercial goals, you'll see more because there's no commercial goals in the
others,
joint
yeah,
plan.
Right. So I think number 10 and number 11 are very specific to Alpena.
Okay.
Township.
So what is number 6 under actions? Explain that to me. What does it mean to balance the short-term rentals with long-term housing?
That's the
What is
city
the
of,
balance?
that's the city of Alpena.
Yeah, no kidding. Who determines the balance?
Very well could be the state, because that's another
It's
thing
coming.
going on at the moment at the
Coming.
state. They're looking to license and tax Airbnbs and Verbos. And if they are not inspected and have a license through Verbo or Airbnb, then they would not be a rentable unit through the state.
Right, so what does it mean to balance them along with long-term?
Well, that's just exactly what that is. It's so that we don't have too many short term.
Then there's not
Instead-
enough long-term
Well-
rentals for people.
Well, right now, the city has actually got a.
Yeah, they have a
ordinance
short-term
again.
ordinance.
They've read it and it's up for a vote
Mhm.
this coming couple weeks.
Yeah, because Denise has to be at the meeting. But it's so, and not only there, but Charlevoix has an
Charlevoix.
ordinance. Yeah, but I mean, they have an ordinance where they do like a lottery system. They only allow 100 in their city of Charlevoix jurisdiction. I think it's wherever it is on that side of the state. I know this is what they do. And when they hit that 100 every year, nobody else can apply. So it's opened up some long-term rentals again, instead of just being vacation homes.
So it's determined by whoever,
Yep. By the community.
by the community.
Because as a homeowner, you can make more doing short-term rentals.
Of course.
Or if, the state sets a number, then we have to,
The state is
then we
understandable.
have to comply with that, yeah.
Yep, and then they'll tax them, and I think like 50% goes to the state,
I guess
50%
wanna-
is something else, or the other 50,
I understand this.
the small municipality can have 25%. And
But
I
it
think
doesn't
for
say
some
you can.
stupid, maybe it was a joke in the webinar, I don't know, they said something about part of it going to roads, and that really made me spit my coffee across the room, but they don't have a good plan down there with it. Let's just, again, we're recorded. Heather, shut up by now. Okay.
At the end of the day, the market's gonna find itself.
Yeah, and that's the
End of
thing.
day, it's gonna find itself.
Yeah, it is what it is with people returning back into offices and out of remote. It's already starting to balance out.
I had 2 Airbnbs 2 years ago, and today I have 0 because they're not
I hear you.
worth it, in my opinion. For me,
Mhm.
it is what it is.
Yeah, it really depends on, you have to have the specific area. I know where I live, 22, 23, you couldn't find a rental anywhere at all, period. And now they're opening back up because they just saturated our market,
Mhm.
bought up all the long terms, and now they're realizing, okay, yeah, there's really not that need for
So
300
the
short-term rental.
countywide is saying that. As
Yes.
a whole, the county, but the city is very specific in theirs. I mean, theirs is going to ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we've talked about Airbnbs and stuff like that before, but then we didn't have we have no enforcement
Right.
arm, so if we said 25 of them, And I just said, well, screw you, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
So who's gonna enforce it?
Well, and I think that's I don't like the state getting involved in a lot of things, but this is one of those things I think they should be somewhat involved in because there are so many municipalities that do not have the manpower. They're beyond capacity as it is. People are doing 6 different jobs. There is no enforcement behind it. So you've got to, that's one of those things that, okay, if they can enforce it through the companies that are already promoting these homes, then maybe that's the avenue to pursue. You know, it just,
We have I think in the ordinance about, somebody buys a lot and just parks a camper.
mhm.
It's only supposed to be, what, 2 weeks or 90 days?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Well, so you can't limit it over 30 days, you have to leave it on like,
yeah.
you can't for 90 days. By people.
So is this a new thing
Who's
that we
gonna-
put in, Brad?
Who's gonna
Yeah.
sit there and make sure that that's, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
That's county-wide. The county has
Okay.
decided on that.
Yeah.
The county?
Mhm. The county committee. Talked about
We're
that.
talking about number 7,
mhm.
implementation of rental property inspections for long and short term.
Yeah, so that would be coming out of the county level. And the city's already in on it as well. But the short term, again, if the state passes this, will end up through Airbnb or Verbo. Long term, there's bad landlords around, and that's where the long term inspection process comes from and a licensing to it. And unfortunately, because rentals are so short, you can't find long term rentals. People are getting away with things they should never be getting away with. But again, that would be like a county inspection process. All the townships going together and saying, yeah, we want this to come in, and kind of like, that's where you go to get a building permit. So it would be the same type of thing. Have the county fire, I don't know, do they have a fire inspector at your county? I have no idea. Oh, cool. I don't know. Yeah, so that it'd kind of be that type of thing. I don't think it's a bad idea. I just, again, it's implementing it. Yeah. Probably. Yeah, because you'd be the next biggest, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they've got enforcement.
Hmm.
2 weeks ago, I went through my inspection and they're coming back Friday for my violations. Exactly.
So.
Pardon me?
Yes, you gotta start a rental program,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, it doesn't pay for the bed, photos,
No,
No.
right.
Yep.
But it does hold some minimums.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but you have to play the game.
And again, it's a goal. It doesn't have to be something that you actually, you might come back to it and it was something that never needed or never. It sorted itself out. That's where Heather's gonna go with that.
If the board doesn't approve we can all approve. Or we can write ordinances, but if there's no.
Right.
There's no enforcement.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so residential,
Well, I think residential's pretty,
okay, we're gonna go with 7, 10, and 11. We'll add to it.
Yeah.
Then the county goals don't have commercial area. So you guys just have commercial areas and we can look through that and you can tell me what still applies.
I think they all still apply kind of.
I was gonna say they all,
It's a kind of,
I wouldn't want to take any of them out.
I think are we the only person that have?
pretty much. Yes, I have a bus for you. I haven't looked at their goals yet.
But whether they've got any
Yeah.
goals or,
Yeah.
I doubt it. I mean, maybe Sanborn. Right.
I have Asanika at the end of the month. I can tell you after that, but I'm sending Nico to
That's
Sanborn.
Sanborn Township.
Yeah, Sanborn Nico's going to. I may have just made copy and paste, but I didn't read it. Do they have industrial goals?
I
No,
don't think so, no.
county doesn't have industrial either, so what? So we need to make sure that those still are what you want it to say.
And I think until the township does anything different, I think these are the objectives and goals,
Mhm.
right? I don't think there's anything.
I'm good with them. If-
Yeah.
Okay. Um, All right, so infrastructure, public services, recreation, transportation. On county, we called it community services, facilities, public infrastructure and transportation. And I don't know why, but you had like basically two goals there. So I just combined it to one goal because I don't know why one was bold and one wasn't. And why we needed two paragraphs that kind of just could fit into one. So that's what your blue words are basically. Oh, look, this is an intergovernmental planning effort. Is there anything in your CIP that should be in here for your water and sewer? Or is it covered under the seeking the grants through federal and state for improvements?
That's all kind of included.
Okay. I didn't know if there's anything specific, like, that you wanted included as well. And we definitely need to keep the water stuff because it is not in the county. They just say infrastructure. And I think we should definitely keep it as water and sewer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think those all just kind of say the same things.
I agree with Chad.
I'm gonna keep 4 and 5 in there about the water though, just because
Yeah.
they're specific to the water. But yeah, you're right. The rest of them are pretty general, and covered in the other stuff. And look, you developed a capital improvement plan. Mm-hmm.
The community recreation.
Yeah.
Number 13 on the next page talks about
Working with them.
upgrades to roads and maintenance.
Oh. I didn't realize it kept going.
Yeah, there's 24.
So we'll keep 13 also. Do you even have public transport?
Yes. Dial ride. Thunder Bay Transit. I'm sorry, I think it's Thunder. Dial ride's in the city and Thunder Bay Transit, correct?
Yeah, TV.
I didn't know that Thunder Bay Transit went outside of the city.
Mm.
Yeah, they'll pick up.
Talked about that, yeah, better.
Yeah, they'll pick. Dial ride is a city limit and then like
TBT is.
TBT is Yeah, they'll take people out to Walmart or pick you up and take you to the doctor's appointments or. They pick up all,
Yeah,
they
take
pick
kids
up all
to
the seniors
school.
at the senior housing on Grant Street.
Yeah.
They're there all the time and that's township.
That's why you're getting those tiny lots. You have public transport.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like 23 is a building code thing and you can't do public facilities that aren't.
Without. Can't serve retired residents. What the? Is that age discrimination right there?
I refuse to comment on any age-related questions. May have been misquoted
That's
in a
an
different
interesting-
newspaper. Yeah, so we'll just not say 23. Done. You can't really do anything. I kind of like, you're not stopping it coming through, so. So I think I really only circled 13. And what was the other two we had?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Yeah. Otherwise, it looks like it's really pretty much covered. Definitely crossed out a couple, but that kind of crazy.
I mean, maybe number 7 is very specific to our township. Maybe we should.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another one that's really probably shouldn't be in there. Plan for safe access and circulation of vehicles, as well as bicycles, wheelchairs, pedestrians. How about just all-inclusive pathways? Wow.
So what is really the difference between economic development, commercial areas, industrial land and development areas?
So
What's the difference between those two and economic development? I mean, it's all the same thing.
it is commercial and industrial, I would think are more your zoning type things for commercial industrial developments. Economic development is specifically talking about your businesses that you're trying to bring in.
Recruiting.
Yeah. I mean, yes, industrial did talk about small scale tech or whatever, not big, huge, smelly corporations. Jeez, oh, Pete, I have to be careful. You say that. I get misquoted all the time. There's that rural character again. I hate that word. Is Target still a thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I find it funny that Target is not mentioned in the county goals at all. But you guys specifically mention them. But I wasn't at your meeting, so I don't know.
No, but the city of Alpena and the township are the only two that contribute a budget item.
Because it says cooperate with regional economic development, but you literally have
Well, so I think
local.
at the county level, I think we were thinking even more broadly, didn't we end up talking about the college and,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're talking about CRT and
right, the airport and.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because none of that stuff was mentioned, or either we're talking about like working with the big police and the
Mhm.
sheriff, whatever, but, you know, and for
Yeah. Oh, no.
Sure.
Yeah, it's huge. You need to keep it there. Bring some more flights over to it. That'd be great. So I think you guys want to keep the target ones in there. Um, otherwise I don't see a lot that wasn't in. Oh, now we get another hole.
Yeah, so you're thinking 3 and 5.
Yeah, basically 3 and 5. Otherwise, the other ones are pretty much the same. We had government goals.
I think the goals for the government is,
Are pretty much the already covered, right?
I think so.
That's I'm going through them and I just keep crossing them off. So I'm, yeah. Do you have your own township website though, right? Which, I mean, that one you could keep. I don't think the county had anything like that.
We did talk something. Since there's what you had to say about some.
They're very much against them. They think they're way too expensive. I get into a debate every meeting I'm there. I get it. Yeah. And I get it. It's just, they're not as expensive as, they can be as cheap as you want or as expensive as you want.
Is your big
Yeah.
expense. but
And then it's just the main
maintaining-
is nothing. And you can make it as pretty as, or as plain as you want, but if it's a place that somebody can get a form and an ordinance and, you know, it just,
It saves us a lot of calls and. Well, I will tell that you and Lynn really are very good at walking people through how to find stuff on it.
Kevin and Lynn put together, they are really good at walking, look for the wrong zone.
well, you just need, you need like a few months of COVID again to memorize it like I did.
Well, we found together. Writing our ordinance and we were like, that's not what ordinance is, we talked about. Well, it turns out that the zoning ordinance under the building department with an updated version and the one that the rest of us use every day. with the old groups.
Good job.
So.
Good job.
that-
Good job. So under this, communicate with the, effectively with the public, I think we should keep that and we should also, talk about that at your next joint county meeting. It's been a big thing about, the blue one, where we're talking about the website and informing the public about the township services, public feedback. I don't, I like the more detailed one, but. Yeah. I don't care, honestly. Do you guys want any of those governmental goals? Or you think you're covered in the county ones? I would just be, well, yeah, and there's. No. The website specifically, yeah, is the big one that I think, and I think it should be in the. county.
I think it should, I think you have to be on the
Mhm.
website, you have to have everything,
Mhm.
needs a bad.
I don't care about the web-based surveys so much as just like, just having the stuff out there. And having minutes that somebody can actually read and be like, okay, so they did talk about that, not there was a motion on this item, and no, have some substance to it so you can educate yourself coming into something, I guess is my point.
It's one of the biggest challenges of it is keeping it current.
Oh, 100%,
It's-
100%. I
I mean, having it
completely,
in two different places is very obvious.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it should be called the Township of Alpena Planning Commission,
Charter Township of
Charter
Alpena.
Township.
Mhm. So natural and cultural resources is what the counties overall, and then we have natural environment. I'm going with they're pretty much probably gonna be the same thing. But we just have to go through 'em.
Like, that's a bad one.
You can keep additional ones, yes. If you like some of yours that you have, yes, you can keep those that are more specific to your township, like we've been doing through this whole packet,
But
Abby.
I'm saying I'm glad.
Mm-hmm,
Those are all just specifically Alpena Township.
yep. But like number two, I feel they probably said something like that, maybe not? There you go. See, 2 and 2 work together. 3 is basically 2. I love it when Denise repeats herself. It makes me happy. Mm-hmm. Is 4 there anywhere? Your 4. Is it on the county? Sports 27, okay. I don't see studies.
Maybe not specific.
So number 5 is very specific to Alpena Township. Talks about Craco and Presqu'île Townships.
Mm-hmm. Were you gonna invite guest speakers to come in and talk to you? Okay, so 6 we don't need. Mm-hmm. I feel like
10-minute
4,
presentation limit.
isn't that what we use here on Pines for? Number 4?
No.
Your 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't feel like Huron Pines is mentioned. Oh, they are.
It
There
is
you are.
number
Okay.
1.
Yep, it is. I didn't see it because I was looking for it at the top. Nico tells me to stop doing that. I was.
So
Um,
number 1, number 4, and number 5 are need to stay. They
Yes.
Need to be added.
Yes, 1, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, so resource conservation continues because it's also part of that others thing. Number 1. Is it? Okay. So we can I was gonna check your coastal goals to see if it was in there also, because it probably is, honestly. I have no idea either. I look at way too many goals. Yeah. I think Denise has just started writing the state instead of any organization because they keep changing the names and it's making her mad. Mm-hmm. This is green belt provision language. I bet this is in your coastal number 2. Your number 2, I bet. Oh,
You're right. I would bet, I mean. That, does that ring a bell to you?
No,
For some of them?
So there is a committee that's Alpena Rise and Resilience. Denise has been on it. They have some initiatives. That's all I know. I know I've read them at one point.
City or from?
I'm gonna say yes.
I just never, I don't recall.
What they are, I know I've got a copy of them someplace.
but you don't know what they are? Rise and resist. Is that a PAC committee?
Rise,
Oh, resilience. I'm sorry, it's late in the day.
you're good. You're good. Yeah, they're very inclusive goals, and to me, nothing was overly specific. I remember reading them and thinking, why are we stating this in different words than we've already stated this in other things?
And other things.
For be number 7 under actions, I would put. Maintain county employee, are you?
I would think that's more like a services, emergency service thing.
Yeah, but. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm making a note.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Is that within the government purposes? Either way, not.
Yeah, mutual aid doesn't belong there. I don't see it under community. I would put it more with government because that's where your hazard mitigation plan is. And you're talking about times of emergency, so I'll get it moved either way. Let's put it that way, because you're right. It should not be there. It's a goofy spot for it to be. We're on resource conservation, the second page going through these, and I'm really thinking the second group of these, they're really specific to native plants, wildlife, wetlands. I really think these are your coastal goals and we won't need, I'm gonna let's just put check coastal. And if they're not in there, then we'll leave them in here, but they're very specific to the water and your setbacks, your vegetation. And instead of continuing to go over that section, oh my word, here's another third section of them.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing, all of those other.
It
objectives.
really is, yeah.
It's all the same, and I think you're there.
Yeah.
Coastal.
It's either in the coastal or it's gonna be in the zoning ones that, the planning stuff that I was gonna check anyway.
And then the next page, water resource protection, that's,
Which again, yeah, those are more coastal. There is a lot of goals and objectives in the coastal. Okay. So farm and forest lands, I guess that's where we are next because I'm gonna check all those other ones and make sure they're in coastal and covered in the planning and zoning. Farm and forest lands, are there any in there? Cause there's only 4. They don't even appear in the county ones, but do you feel there's anything there that needs to be said that hasn't already been said? I wish I'd put page numbers, but I didn't. I apologize. I'm terrible at that.
I think they all gotta stay, that whole,
Okay.
if that, the county doesn't address it, so. it needs
That's
to be
perfect.
ours,
Yep.
yeah. So leave those
As
they are
is.
then, yeah.
And then you have, so there's two sections, there's 1 through 4 and then 1 through 5.
Yeah, I think they all stay. the
Yeah.
same.
I think you're right. So then recreation and public lands. So you guys have a recreation plan, correct? With the county? It's a joint plan. So do we really need to go past objective 1? Or just change it to keep and maintain? Because so do you have individual rec goals in your rec plan?
I don't either.
I think there
Okay.
is individual.
That's, yep. So again, I will go through the rec plan, see if there's rec goals in there that are already here, so that we don't have to state them again. Because,
Because it is specific about Thunder Bay Island.
Yep. well, that's, I want to see if you guys have like specific goals, or are they just all county goals in there? I know we wrote it, but if not, we'll keep these if not. Yep,
Four is also, that's the island.
Yeah, I know that they use.
Mhm. Yep. I just don't want to have like 700 pages of goals if they're already stated in a,
Somewhere else.
yeah.
right. That's what government does, right? Stated 92 different places.
I'm not commenting. Okay, so that should get us through goals, and if you care, you have your survey results. You can look through them at your leisure. I'm not concerned about them because I feel like you already had goals. We have county goals. We have lots of goals. They're pretty, they're great, they're special. I'm gonna unroll my map because that's my next.
How many specific did you say we had returned? Roughly four something?
I believe it was 457. And I apologize that there's not numbers on the graphs. It was another. It's a great name day. Today was a Monday, right? Today's Monday. Just go with that.
Really think about that from time to time.
It is Monday.
It's been a long one day.
It is.
A paper map?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a paper map in forever.
Yeah, they're right on the wall there, Chad.
So,
I thought it was all digital.
well, it's much more fun when it's digital. So you have your future land use designations. I wrote these based on your current zoning and your current future land use. In your factors. Why did I write your zoning map? If there's anything, yeah, it's probably that in that map. If it's not, and this one's updated,
I know I've had conversations with Denise about updating.
yeah, you can keep it if we don't end up writing at it. This one was effective June 5th of 2020. I don't know what that. Then, nothing. Okay, so same map, we're good. All right, so we talked about environmental conservation here, which would align with, I believe, environmental. Oh, conservation district and probably. I didn't. Oh, you do have forestry, that's why it's not both agricultural. Waterfront residential. Single family residential. Mixed. Residential. Okay. So the map is if you want to expand any areas. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean
Future land use is it? The ice storm had completely taken out certain areas. Okay, they're gone. Now we have to rebuild them and some big companies are coming back in. So now you have this vacant land. What would you want it to be? Would you want it to continue to be industrial or commercial areas? Would you want it to be more residential areas? That's what future land use is. It doesn't mean that's what's exactly gonna happen. But if somebody came in for a rezoning and you're showing where R3 can go, you want it to go farther into Forest Rock, then it gives you, as long as it's not spot zoning, you could rezone some of these parcels because it's giving you a back. Your future land use map is what your zoning is based on. So if you're ever gonna rezone something, your future land use needs to reflect it. Does that make sense or did I confuse you guys at all?
So that's what the city did a year ago when they changed the industrial of DPI. They didn't change, it's still industrial, but if somebody decided to go in there, they changed it to,
Just on the future land use?
well, that's what that's what I'm asking.
Oh, you're asking, so I don't know. Cause I don't know.
Because they had a manufacturing
Yep,
closed. They quickly changed it, I think, if I remember
think it was-
correctly.
Water and,
oh, that's right, yeah, water.
So that's kind of what,
Yes.
that's an example of it,
Yeah,
right?
that would be an example.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
when, so we had, when I used to work in a township, we had a couple of rezones that came up. We had some commercial parcels that we didn't realize until somebody pulled the deed, they were duly zoned. So we had to go through and make the line of where that dual zone was, what was on the future land use map. The only thing we had to go on was that deed record, so we literally just laced the line. And right or wrong, we have no idea, but there's nothing to stand on. It was, so that, you guys don't have any that are duly zoned, because we would definitely have that conversation.
Mhm.
How far would this go back? And we would definitely be writing it in the future land use. We have a future overlay stuff. You have, but I'm talking about literally, you have a 10 acre parcel, and it is zoned commercial and agricultural. And where does that line come? Up there where they're referring to stuff. I think he owns, I think it's zoned different ways for the property zoned residential and urban design. You know, there is an environment. Was it two parcels or is it one parcel? 'Cause these were city parcels. See, in, Plainfield Township, now like by Hale, they had a whole bunch of dual zone parcels that can be, like, we have to set a number of feet. So we know in future land use and we know in zoning. She didn't tell me that you had any of that, so I'm gonna say you don't. She can never remember.
I would say is, would this be where, for example, on 23 South, you've got the Thunder Bay Shopping Center, that's
Yep.
owned commercial, but I would foresee the potential that gets demolished. And then I would say like, part of that area in the back could be residential and then the frontage could be still like
That's
commercial.
exactly what I'm talking.
I would
Or out
say-
on 32 as we continue heading west towards residential or.
Yeah, how far do you want residential, how far do you want commercial to go? That's literally, I mean, I don't see you guys messing with conservation or forest for your ag district, maybe a little bit in your ag because you wanna bring residential. But
let overlay to that.
we've got an overlay, you guys can come and look at the map, I don't care. Like, we're just making a map discussion and then like, we can read through that, or we can.
I'm just thinking of specifically of the Thunder Bay Shopping Center and the potential that has for demolition. I think that's a real concern in the next 10 years.
Where's always gonna go?
I don't know, maybe to the next shopping center down. But I would say that, or like, I would say that as well as where the mall is and where Kmart is at those. The back halves of the, could be residential or a mixed residential or an overlay, or I don't know how they would do it, but that's.
Cause that's right now, commercial.
Yeah, I got rezoned from commercial to allow,
Industrial.
industrial, I'm sorry, I got rezoned from industrial to allow.
It got rezoned, not just
Yeah.
special
It
use.
was rezoned,
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, like-
It's,
zone with the zones.
It's light industrial, isn't it?
well, I know, but it's, so yeah.
Because it
right.
was, it bordered some other, light industrial, didn't it? So I think that was part of the justification.
Yeah.
So it's that instead of there.
It's this one here. Back in here, so here's Kmart.
No.
A3,
Yes, I'm sorry.
this is already R2, the B2. That's all R3.
But this is B3 and this is Neiman's.
Yeah. No, this is Neiman's.
What's this?
That's Berkeley. That's Kmart.
What's this stuff?
Great.
That is.
Light manufacturing district.
I thought that was
Well, that's,
Kmart.
that should be
That's
Kmart.
Well, there's Ripley Street and
What?
it's right across the street is Ollie's.
Oh.
Yeah,
So that's all
Neiman's.
B2.
Okay, so this must be like where Kmart, or no,
No,
sorry,
that's-
the same, Shelby Farm,
Shelby
here's the,
Farm, yeah,
then
that's-
it's McDonald's, the dance place, the auto body place.
Yep.
And it butts up to R3, so what I was saying is that could like, depending on housing, a lot of that could be,
So what's in it?
I think
that's
that's Kmart.
Kmart.
Yes.
But when did you guys,
Light, yeah.
right, but it wasn't, when did you guys do that?
When, Omni bought it.
So when was that? Cause this, you said this map is from 2020?
Yeah, that was probably done back like 16.
Oh, no, I didn't start until the end of 18 and it was well a few years into me being here.
Something was zoned,
Yeah.
is that what you're looking, or is it? you know, you
Kmart,
wrote your
well,
Bible?
change that one.
The Bible.
Yeah.
Some of that is. I just, like I said.
blow the dust off of it.
I guess what I envision kind of with the zoning and future land use is that if there's housing shortages, we need to make these areas available for business and residential to cohabitate.
So potentially a mixed use district?
And I would say anything, honestly, I would say anything
Is our
along our
green-
corridors, which this is already,
Because we had light industrial there, so we didn't, those
It wasn't
touch,
stuck.
that way at least we didn't feel
Yeah.
like it was, and it wasn't gonna sell. There wasn't, Target wasn't gonna come in and buy it and open the store there.
that'd be great.
No, that'd be a.
Oh, God, you and your Hobby Lobby.
If we build it, they will come.
Do you
So a
think?
tornado takes it out.
They'll
They'll wait
rebuild
2
it.
years, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I foresee just a lot of this along the main street.
Cause what is all the red there?
That's all.
That's all.
Business.
Commercial, yeah, business district.
So what if we did, just on future land use, talk about an R3 overlay on this area? So,
It is already R3 here.
right, but like you said, like an overlay district, so that, yes, it could become housing, but that's your mixed use district also, so that,
Doesn't prevent any commercial.
right,
That's what this all should be over here.
oh, this should be R3.
Yeah.
That's, is that M32?
Well, this is M32 and this is our B, but all that Burke Boulder property all the way through here. I mean, honestly, there could be something that could go there if the planning commission ever wanted to have people come and talk about it.
So what do you think that should be?
This should,
It's R1 now, so what do you think it should be?
I think it should be R3 because it opens up,
R3?
it opens
Okay.
up for, it opens up for people to come and have businesses. It also opens up for condos. It opens up everything. Doesn't just limit you to this. Cause R1, all you can do is build a house.
Right.
You're living there.
Right.
But again, I would say that there would have to be some kind of a,
Well, this should be
Fine.
waterfront right here.
right, but saying that. Like if you're gonna build residential, you can't build residential here, but you can build like a
Which you
strip
could-
mall or
you
something
could-
with
you-
apartments above it or.
You
not a
can
strip
build
mall, but-
residential in B2.
But it just has to be the business in the
Yeah,
front or.
but, no,
Oh.
they were under a foot.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we're at with this one thing.
So,
And so like if you did R3, everything. From southwest of that vertical there, because this is riverfront, it should have actually been, it's not waterfront, but it is waterfront. So that would open up all this area for something else. Cause this is all undeveloped, this is developed.
That's right, but look, it's too hard.
Yeah.
So
These got houses, but there's nothing developed.
how do we, so how,
well, it's simple as Heather makes some notes, and this is just your future land use, so if you get the other grant with Huron Pines to come in and do some of your zoning, then you can
Why
consider
isn't this
rezoning
outside
it,
waterfront though?
because it's a river. You would not believe how many rivers are not considered waterfront.
I just wonder if it's like,
And all these back here.
Chris's house in Maple Ridge is almost my favorite part, so well.
Is that all Partridge Point? That's not waterfront?
Yeah. Those channels. It's R1 and it's still, so here's the cute part, it's an R1. But it still follows the waterfront residential,
Why is this not all? Bridge Point?
just.
Yeah, so.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're
the Bear
losing-
Point and stuff. yeah.
Losing major tax dollars by not having that all be water.
But it
Well,
still
that's
follows
it,
the same
no,
thing.
because tax classifications, tax classification.
Right. Oh, that's fair, never mind.
But, okay, so this is exactly where you would say, we wanna make those waterfront. So I would do it on the future land use map, you get the grant from Huron Pines to update zoning and do stuff with your buffers, then you can come in and rezone those, so that your zoning book doesn't say R1 if it's touching water is this. Then it just is waterfront residential.
It's like Forest Rec, you can't do R8 Forest Rec, you can mine it,
You can do overly ridiculous stuff in conservation district though.
when that. This is
Right.
all,
so
So a future, that is a part of this planning commission.
So.
This is my second meeting.
Oh, you're fine. No, you're doing great. So, the two chapters in the master plan that give you your legal basis for your zoning are future land use and your goals and objectives. Cause your goals support your zoning or, there's a whole big planning section was your zoning, okay? And your future land use shows where you want it to go, and when we write up the designations, it tells us what it should be. So you've already made, if we decide that we're going to,
2019.
Yeah,
so
this one, from B3 to I1. Industrial.
Yep.
That doesn't sound like it was that long ago.
Just about a
7
decade.
years? I know, 7 years ago already.
Time flies.
it's like. for
And that's what I think they got rid of the manufacturer.
So if we ever want to develop.
Yeah, we don't have that designation.
anything, French Road, this should come in R30, it's at least 400 feet off the road each way. Cause right now it's agriculture.
Right.
We're not doing anything. Well, where are we gonna take water out of this town? You're not gonna take it anywhere. You gotta come down French to get a main artery out to Long Lake and then back around, back up. This would grow this town as good as you're gonna get to grow, and develop.
Mhm.
We don't have that. We're not going this way. This is.
That's rock.
Quarries.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
people,
that French though? Like, when Anna goes on trucking, it's like all shale.
yeah, but you can still get through. There's
Can-
houses- there's houses
Did you
there.
try and plant a tree in my yard? I need my yard, exactly.
Just down the road.
But, so we didn't really, we haven't talked about this at all, so it'd been nice to, this, is this part of the master plan?
We have time to.
Oh,
yeah,
time.
we have time. But,
I'll
I
give
mean,
you-
and I can come back a second meeting,
these are good suggestions, but I mean, it's just kind of like,
and you don't have, see, here's the thing, you don't have to do it just because it's on future land use. But if you do end up with the second Huron Pines grant and have enough to update your zoning. I'm assuming you're a zoning administrator.
Nope.
Oh, well. Okay, well, either way, you both know that it's a pain in the butt to go R1 waterfront. It just makes it, and you're not the only community. I just did this, in 3 other communities lately where they didn't have, they had different districts on their waterfront and they should all be waterfront districts. It doesn't matter what size your lot is.
Yeah, because it affects our
waterfront.
zoning. Right now, if any of these people wanted to have a shipping container, they can just have it. Because
R1.
they're allowed.
And
for
so what,
15 months Or whatever it is.
Big shipping container.
so that Burkholder area, have you heard of any
Me? No.
interest? Okay.
No, but there's been some interest expressed back here to do like a,
15 housing.
yeah, housing.
But it doesn't fall in
Well,
the
it
zone.
does, but you guys have to, it'll have, so here's the thing, the developer has to come with the plans. They're asking us, are you guys interested in this, are you weighing your options before it even comes, but we're not gonna give them an answer because that's not our job.
Right.
Our job is to eventually figure out, okay, yes, this is something palatable and presentable to the community and you guys will get it in front of you. At that point, you guys get to decide, okay, you show me the 10 acres, you show me how you're gonna build it up, give me the sidewalks, give me the infrastructure. Okay, this may work out, we can still do business in the front. It's no different than having a street sign here in
Right.
Sarah. But it's zone B2, so it does have a little bit more difficulty than just being an R3 where they can come in and say, hey, man, this is what we wanna do. Right, it fits into our zoning, it's simple, it's a permitted use. With a B2, it's not a permitted use, it's a special use.
So R3, you mean?
No, B2 is a special use to have this type of development they wanna do, in R3, we could do it.
Because B2 doesn't have residential mix there.
It does, but it doesn't, you can have a house above above mercantile, you can have it kind of attached to mercantile, you have to have some kind of a storefront to it. What this person's gonna do is develop, do a whole planned urban development,
Where it's all.
where it's gonna be all homes. So that, at the end of the day, they're gonna have to put in screening, sidewalks, and all the municipality, the water, sewer, and everything else that goes along with it. But they're willing to do it, they're willing to buy the property and do this. We just gotta talk to them a little bit more and, get the developer to go back and say, hey, yeah, this is palatable, we can bring this to planning commission, we can move this forward. But it's just a conversation.
Right now, it's just a
It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
But if you don't have it, you don't got it. I mean, you gotta be willing enough to work with these people to say, yeah, we can do this.
Right,
Yeah, exactly.
right.
Yeah, something has to change for changes to come.
So especially we need to look at the areas where we know that would have redevelopment, want.
Well,
Existing
the
homes.
last 5 years, every conversation is shortage of housing.
That's
Shortage
my
of rentals,
opinion.
shortage of this,
Right.
shortage of that. So the township has to make it easy.
We have
To
make it easy,
develop.
we have to make it so we can get.
Strategic.
So they can do it.
Right, exactly.
And that's why I say French Road needs to change.
French Road has water to how far out?
Hamilton.
Probably Hamilton.
Yeah, and then it goes down.
Probably goes all the way back to 23, doesn't it, down Hamilton?
Sewer goes part
Yeah.
down.
So,
Well-
well, I know it goes up to.
Just to Murray's house.
I don't know if it goes past Hamilton back. You got Boardwalk and a couple other roads back in here. But I think it only goes to Hamilton, I think it only goes to industrial,
Oh,
but the water, I think, might
And
come
it's
down
down
there.
there. I think they're way to
The
do
main
that.
goes here, it comes down.
Look.
Well, I don't know, cause they got wells down there. So I think water only goes to industrial. And then it might come down French. 'Cause they have to drill the wells here that are going dry.
So they need water. Water.
Yeah,
Mm,
well.
It's like expensive dollars for our CIP.
Well,
Extend
at the
water
end of the
into
day,
it.
they didn't put this.
Well, you assess, right? If they would choose the,
To want water ran.
if they want water, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how some of these people are paying $15,000-$20,000
well,
for a well. And there's no guarantee when you got Joe Smo and last and
mhm.
changing aquifers.
What's that about that? It's freaked me out about the well.
So it's just a matter of,
To put it in a well.
so the purpose of that is to just kind of overlay it. It's for future. It doesn't redo anything.
It doesn't mean you have to do it, it doesn't mean, this means you can
Yeah.
later on enact that situation that says, hey, here you go.
It prevents us from having the spot zoning issue, because we're
Right.
saying this could be either or, and there's some flexibility there, where right now it's like, if you wanted to build a home here, sorry, you're on a lot, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
have
I mean, I've said it
properties-
for a long time. Alpena County doesn't have anything in place for a developer to build of large development. We don't have anything in Alpena Township that if somebody comes in and wants to buy 200 acres of land and put a subdivision in, is there a piece of property is there an area that is remotely easy?
Well, here's the sad part, this area would be,
Which is what?
that's all a big,
Where is that coming?
that is off boardwalk, you get back in there, it's all shale.
Oh, yeah, off of Hamilton, yeah.
There's a little bit of property right where you bought.
Right there.
Yep.
And that's R2.
Yeah. This is conservation, this Richmond Road right here. That's, you get up by the lake there. This is gravel pit, this is gravel pit. Junkyard.
So what is all this agricultural about?
Well, this is all it.
Yeah.
Conservation district.
This is, well,
No, it's-
this is,
this
no,
They're pretty
Or is that-
example.
That's a lot of agricultural.
no, this is all farmland, there's a gravel pit here. This is farmland. This is farmland. There's a couple houses here.
See, I never see farms. I never think of it as
They're
farmland.
Well, they still work the property, but all, Arnie Anderson's gone, Nick Bloom's gone. That
Right.
was people at
That's the farms.
Yeah.
That's the farm. That's the
You
blue
know,
farms and stuff.
Over here, you had the Combs, they farmed it. Now, I think Rustin Hand farmed some of it, some of it's farmed out to other places. But to grow, you gotta go this way because we're not going this way.
Right.
And we don't have west. We don't have much further west.
You
Reality.
do, but nobody wants to hear the option of going around Tamarack to Third and opening up all that all the way over to work.
Well,
I think financially though. I think they can't go all the way to where.
It has to.
We don't have,
People don't want to.
They would have to-
Infrastructure.
There's
So
a way.
why?
I know there's a way.
It's not road commission owns behind it.
I think it is.
Why would you put it- The road commission might put a road in there.
Well, I
To
mean,
what?
purple, it just doesn't seem like that's.
Yeah.
So that kind of built, well, it's,
Where the road is.
these are all built out.
Oh, they just bought it for the fun of it.
There's none, a lot back.
So you have a bigger.
They thought-
on Burkholder, that's full. It's full all the. And then from Lake Winya back in,
Yeah,
it's all
that's all
built.
parceled off, ready to go. This property here, the one guy owns,
Something needs
and
to
once he
figure out
goes,
people need
maybe the kid will sell it, loosen it up, or he can do something.
In the
Who
village.
owns that?
That's Uger, Heiser.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Dick
we
still
need to
owns
get
all
it
of that?
to annex it. We need to get the sheriff's department to go in there and clean it up.
So my,
Portion.
you guys meet again next month?
Yeah, we will definitely be.
Okay,
Yes.
so, alright,
Oh,
well,
do we?
my thought is though, they don't have their zoning in front of them to see what, like, their permitted uses of their districts, and I didn't think of bringing it. But you guys do have individual zoning in what
Mhm.
your current future land use, and I did write up the definition, so it does say some of the permitted uses. If you guys want to, we can leave it for next month, give you guys time to talk about it, look at it at home.
Mhm.
And I just checked, that I don't have anything next month, and I can come and finish it up, because just your waterfront and that R3 makes sense, and then you guys are talking about, but actually get into your zoning book, see if there's other things that you might want to change. Because if you don't get this year's Huron Pines grant, if there's another grant that comes out that we can come in and do your zoning, let's make sure our future land use is ready to do that zoning update. Is that?
That makes sense.
Comments?
And then, yeah, that gives you guys time to go back through it also.
What are the recommendations of the future land? How often should that be
Look at-
updated,
So,
right?
you realize those damn-
So like every 5 years,
Yeah.
we do an update of your master plan.
When are they getting torn
And
out?
we look at
dams
things like
had-
that, and nothing's really
See,
changed.
ours is 17.
Got the wrong job,
Decade.
got all these gas and all these here.
He knows.
Anybody in the
We'll be
building,
decade by the time it's
trade
done.
The
knows
grant
everything.
that-
These guys got
The
it
grant
like
that the
crazy.
town plan is
Those dams are only
It
allotted.
was actually applied for
years.
So we're right at the 5 year,
After the.
but that's, I
time
mean,
runs
it's,
out of the piece, they're supposed to be removed.
I wrote,
And then maybe back to.
I assisted, 40 some
That's gonna be a
communities
disaster.
in writing for that grant, and 33 of them got.
I don't make
got
up
it
the
for
rules.
money.
I know, but
Fire,
well, they'll
so-
get an extension or
I mean, it's
release
just-
it or something. I mean, there's always.
Oh my
That's-
God.
Sorry.
When I say
This is
sorry,
all
I'm
flooded,
really
like,
sorry. There's a lot that we're trying to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just a little.
like the.
It'll be a trickle after it all runs into like.
With their adoption process and everything, so I need.
If
to
it
find-
bursts, it's a flood for short term.
Then I have the next group that's needs to get their
Oh,
final
wait,
grant
it's
out,
fun,
yeah,
isn't it?
and you guys.
So do we have a
Well,
date?
that'll
Because
give us a
look
chance to read over some of the
Yeah.
other stuff,
Yeah.
cause like.
Oh, I know, that's.
If you're like.
Another
good
35
reader,
years?
everybody reads.
I get it.
Booster goes out even,
What?
it all goes out of town. We don't use that power.
Or goes into the grid.
Goes in the grid, it goes to the grid. We don't use the power, it leaves.
Like the rain, with Matt.
Well, why did we lose power in Alpena when something happened to the dam that year? And I used to live across the street from the 7 Mile.
Yeah, cause when the stomp went through, picked up the turbine.
Something popped or something, yeah, and the whole town went, quiet, except my neighbor.
So that's
I'm
my
like,
goal.
yeah.
I'll
We
come
have
back
that,
next
right?
week when you guys, for meeting, you have your cases, but it gives you guys time to go through
Mm.
and really look, and if you and your building guy as well, to go through and say, what you would really want if we were gonna update zoning. Yes, we know you want that stretch. You put it out.
Oh.
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't it be?
I'm
Yeah,
getting
why-
that at this point.
It's getting late, it's
Well, I
Monday,
think
you're
like-
allowed.
it's kind of not even-
Dinner at 9 tonight?
I didn't have lunch, so I ate before, I ran home at 5 and threw a slice of
It's what-
pizza.
Well, I had a little cup of cottage
I would
cheese.
see it.
It's like
Water, we go down there.
Leave right now, grab her pizza, and I'll be out the door and just stare
We're
at
talking
the
about my
box. Cause I don't go back to the dealer office
Or where
for
do you want Trump?
or so.
Yeah.
For a week. And I went, never gonna.
You're like, what?
25
Plan B?
later.
Finally left.
I.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I would do.
Whatever.
If it means they're gonna pave the road.
Yeah,
fine.
Are you paving the road, yeah?
So even leave you the big map. Cause then you can actually do the line if you want to.
Alright, Jeff, you guys have, or you don't have, but they actually.
We have a copy of
They
it.
have copies
Sorry,
of,
what you want? You might have on hold.
so they have copies of their, a small future land use. And the current zoning right back there.
Yeah, but you guys are gonna want like the full list of permitted uses, so you can see what's allowed in each zone. And what's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You could just give them
I think we
the
could.
table that has all the. Says it the full table. Yeah, the full table, don't give them individual districts. I mean, the write-up does, I wrote a lot of it in there, but sometimes it's just easier to see. Oh, look at that. I heard-
That would have been zoned.
Is that a zoning?
No, this is the
Your-
planning process, all the different, this must have been from the meeting thing that I went to.
A training or something.
Yeah, it must have been some training we went to. Well, that's the rec plan.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
the rec
rec
plan.
plan.
That's in Lincoln packet.
No.
Heather never puts stuff that small in font. I can't read it from across the room. We are not using that font.
Wait a while.
That's relevant.
I don't
I didn't,
think at all.
I mean, look at that. I could read that from over here.
Rec plan, I go with
I
all
can't
the
use
different-
drop. It's not worth it. Well, then I have to make all of our plans that we're finishing up ADA compliant, so no one knows how to do it.
Oh, except for you, you got all.
No, like literally, no one knows how to do it. Like, it's like, we'll just put them as plain text documents on the
Oh,
website.
yeah,
I was like,
when we were discussing
that's
short-term
not-
rental ordinance.
That has to be the same
I don't
document.
say-
That was an
it's-
issue we discussed, for how long, and then it just went clear.
Webinar tomorrow about.
I might during the webinar.
Yeah.
Somebody,
Somebody, and then
Albert, yeah, Albert sent me also the link, and I don't know if I have to be part of MTA or I can. I know my secretary login for the township.
Well, she told me yesterday that I'll have it invited, even though that we are not members currently. Probably would still be.
So hopefully I can get in.
So can I make a motion to adjourn or do we have anything more?
So we're gonna consider this in our next meeting?
Sure,
Yeah.
I think we should.
Yeah,
December
Got that, man?
business, something like that.
We're gonna,
We're gonna consider future
Thank
land
you.
use at our next.
so,
meeting.
so
Thank you. Okay,
Anything else?
anything else for the good of the organization?
No, that was all I had.
I
So
second.
is there, so there's no discussion?
Wait, the motion first.
Discussion was
Trash,
master plan.
yeah.
Okay.
We didn't make a decision on there was no, it was just discussion. There was
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Yeah,
We didn't
I made
have
the
a-
motion to adjourn.
Cause we're not approving.
I mean, we can
it.
still look at the map. Aye. We can still look at the map, but if we're done with the meeting, we're done.
So.